Barry Brown, 6050 Burrowwood Court. What would you think if I told you the city has $24 million in reserve funds? Well, based on these financial statements, they do. Now, they can't spend it all because most of it's allocated based on various lending restrictions, regulations, and city council rules. However, there is $5 million in reserve above the self-imposed safety net the city council members can decide how to use. As of this January 2025, which is the latest information available to the public, there was $3.4 million in the General Reserve Fund and $1.6 million above the regulatory demands in the Enterprise Fund. That's water, sewer, and storm sewer. A deeper dive into some specifics on the line items on the revenue side of budgets shows that the city has been budgeting the exact same amount, $232,225 per year. That's a really strange amount over the last 5 years for licenses and permits, but has been collecting on average $468,000 over the last 5 years. That's a budget miss of $1.1 million. Now, it's also reasonable to assume that interest on investments should be fairly easy to calculate for budgeting purposes. But in 2023, the city budgeted only $20,000 in interest investments, and actually interest earned was $240,000 that year. A miss of this caliber would have reduced the tax levy to residents that year by 2 to 3%. On the expense side of the budget, in the last 4 out of 5 years, the administrative budget went over by a total of $262,000. That's an average of $52,000 per year. Just the opposite in public works, where the last 5 out of 5 years, they were under budget by $484,000, or $96,000 per year. Here's how the city continues to build on its reserve funds at the taxpayer's expense year after year. First, the staff provides a soft or highly conservative budget to the city council and says we need to increase the taxes to residents by 8, 9, 10, 11%, whatever it does. Second, after some back and forth with city council, they get the council to agree. Third, the budget misses lead to unspent money or overages that go into the next year's reserves. Point in fact, in 2020, $1.1 million was left over and went into the coffers of the reserves. In 21, it was $518,000. In 23, it was $812,000. In 24, it was $950,000. These are not small amounts and have a significant impact on the taxes paid by residents. Without proper information from staff, city council members don't have a chance of making informed decisions. I could provide more detail, but my time is up. Look for this readout and more information on Shorewood Citizens Advocates. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Brown.